Hey guys, Vincent here with another video for Tails Coffee. Today I wanted to go over my pour over technique that I've been perfecting for the last 3 to 4 years, and it doesn't require a bloom. When we brew coffees, we pour water into the grinds, and initially the grinds give off a lot of gases. These gases prevent the water from actually fully extracting any flavors at all. So what we do is we traditionally do what's called a bloom. The bloom is a process when you pour water into the gases or into the coffee grinds, and it releases the gases, and you just wait. You just wait until the gases are released and none of the water really drips out. And this is how you fully saturate the coffee grinds without it having to lose flavor. I've actually been working on this technique to control the gases. And this is important because I think that in the first 30 seconds where you traditionally do this bloom, there's a lot of great flavors that can be extracted. And so if we can control the gases, we don't really need a bloom net, right? The other thing is, it comes down to a timing issue. The more times you pour, the longer your coffees take to brew. I think that's a problem because there's a lot of flavors towards the end of it that I think taste really bad or shouldn't belong in the coffee. So I've been trying to cut down on the timing of my brews, and that actually requires me to cut down on the bloom itself. So when we talk about controlling the gases, there's 2 main factors. One is the water temperature, and 2, it's your pouring technique. When it comes to water temperature, the higher the water temperature, the more violent the release of the gases. Does that mean we should use a lower water temperature? Not necessarily, but we should find an optimal one. I think 88 is actually a very good temperature to brew waters at, or brew coffees at. We could also look at the traditional, which is about like 94, 95. If you want to use a higher water temperature, we would just pour a little bit differently. Make sure to understand the type of bean you're working with as well. Some beans naturally give off more gases. You might want to consider a lower water temperature for those. The darker the roast, the more gases it releases, the lower the water temperature you want to use. Those ones you can actually use as low as 82 degrees, and it comes out so sweet, so tasty. Now let's talk a little bit about the pouring technique. As I was saying earlier, using a higher water temperature, you just have more gases. And if you do think that you want to use a higher water temperature to brew, you can actually control the gases still with the pouring technique. I like to start with a little divot in my coffee bed, and that allows the water to be caught and the gases to push the water into the side of the grinds a little bit easier. And when you pour like this, you want to pour extra slow. You start slow so that the gases release slower, and you can actually get your first drip to come out after 16 seconds. It sounds crazy, but it's doable, and from then on you just get this wonderful thick textured coffee because you're not having any watery particles dripping out earlier. So let's hop on over to the bar. I'm gonna brew you guys a coffee, and as I'm brewing the coffee, I'm gonna be explaining my thought process of what's happening right now. Hey guys, so now that we're at the counter, at the bar, we've got my setup, we've got our coffee, we've got the Origami Dripper, the scale's ready, we've got our hot water. This one's at 94 degrees right now, and I've got myself the coffees, it's already ground up. So what we're gonna do is, we've already preheat the filters and everything, done all of that. I'm gonna get the coffee grinds in here. What I like to do is, forgot my chopsticks. Love my chopsticks, okay? So I always just kind of set a nice shape, that V shape. Give it a quick tap, and we're gonna start the pour. So when you pour, you're gonna notice that the gases are being released. You wanna start nice and slow, nice and controlled. You'll see it's already been 10 seconds, and 13 seconds is when the first drip really starts to come out. We're gonna start in the middle. We're gonna wait for all the water to kind of just push out the grind slowly. You can see that in the beginning, a lot of there's gonna be a little white color coming out. That's just the crema or the gases being released. You'll notice that because I pour so slowly, there's not a lot of bubbles that traditionally happen when you do a blue. And this is how I'm going to be controlling the gases. You're going to work your way out slowly. You're going to push to the edge. And once all the darker stuff is submerged and you're left with this creamy white color, you're just going to pour and finish your coffee. It's actually really simple. Here we have, it's 58 seconds. I've finished pouring all my water. Give it a quick stir. And now you just wait for it to drain. So a few tips I want to give you guys when you're going over this technique is you want to make sure that as you're pouring, the coffee grinds, they lift up towards the side. You want to push that out slowly towards the sides. You don't want anything lifting up in the middle. And once you get to the sides, you want to flush finish, which just means you're just going to pour all around the edge and push all the coffees down. And this way you get a full saturation. And the agitation at the end just gives it a quick little finish, a quick little last little spur of extraction, and all the flavors are extracted. You'll notice that it's actually finished draining. It's exactly 1 minute and 48 seconds. And it looks like this. If you haven't tried this technique before, give it a try. Let me know what you think. I hope this video has actually inspired you to refine your technique a little bit better. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.